1-4-8. Lykke til.
Takk.
1-8-4. 4-3-2.
4-4-2.
Jetzt wird's Frühling. Bitte. C'est les produits maintenant.
So we are just about under starters' orders. Lygrid is ready. He's really fired up for this one. The quickest skier yesterday. He looks so comfortable out on the snow. He's underway. Sturla Holm Lygrid, 9 wins in his career. It's been a little bit of a battle of physical condition and confidence this year, which is surprising when you think how good he was last year. But no one expected him to do last year what he did. So this year, everyone was expecting. Fiolmaye starting number 2. He is, though, the number 1. 8 wins in his career, or 8 wins coming this year, 16 in all. He's already secured 3 globes, could make it 4 today. Samuelsson starts 3, Benny Doll starting 4 at 40 seconds, and he's the sort of man that will go for an early chase. He'll try and close down the gap on Samuelsson, and he's got Lesser and Norath behind him. So Germany with 3 successive athletes. Are they going to get a podium today?
I suspect they'll work together, trying to cooperate and use each other for the wind drag, and also just pacing themselves on this first lap. It's so crucial not to go too hard, too early, when the conditions are as heavy as they currently are.
Christiansen, Kern, Anderson are away. There goes Martin Ponsiluoma for Sweden, finished 10th yesterday. He should be looking at a top 5. He is, of course, the sprint world champion from Pachuca last year. David Zobel, can he get a PB? That would be fantastic. Simon Detieu, last 2 days of racing. He's done enough to qualify for the mass start tomorrow. So this is his penultimate race. He's wearing 12. 13 is Tadiabo. Not confident about his prospects today, but we'll see how he gets on. Giacomo, Strolia, back and start 14, 15, 16. Bjørntegard is 17. We're through to Martin Uldal of Norway. Starts just behind Philip Fjeld Andersen, his teammate. Vaklavik goes 21. Giganeur of France, 22. And then Simonada is starting 23. 39 now, Simonada. Still brilliant in the prone, so he should make places on the first half of the course. Now, in terms of shooting, Scott, always nice to get a top 20, but it's not always necessary to get 100% hit rate to win the pursuit.
Absolutely not. Sometimes you can, well, as we've seen, if it's windy conditions, you can have many, 3, I believe there's 4 penalty loops for the gold medal in a recent race, and it's still possible to win if it's windy conditions, but that is incumbent on everybody else struggling as well.
Yeah, Johannes Dingesbo, he missed 3 last time we had a pursuit here back in March 2019, and he still won in a time of 32.15. Even with those 3 misses, I think we'll be pressed to beat that 32-minute mark today.
So we got Samuelsson close down the gap. It wasn't a big one on Fiolmaye. Of only 4 seconds, managed to get that right down, so he's in his draft, he's able to stick with his timing, and he can relax all the way into the shooting range. Just thinking more about Benedict Dahl's technique there. You can see his head shaking, and of course there's actually the main components of a good technique are that forward lean, weight on the balls of the foot, not the heels, getting your chest over your poles so you're dropping. He's got all of those fundamentals ticked. It's just that shaky head, which is just a tiny part of it all.
Yeah, and as long as the movement isn't in the waist, in the core, then the transfer of power from the upper body to the lower body is very good. Is he the Paula Radcliffe of biathlon? In a way, but I still think were he Norwegian, they would be working on that technique.
It always amazed me, the Russian biathletes not quite having the strongest techniques over the years, and every Norwegian, they just have these beautiful gliding techniques. And it does beg the question, what value is there in having fantastic technique? Look at Sturla here in the front left of the screen. It's just so smooth and so efficient, so you're just saving a lot of energy on the hills.
Yeah, and that initial shot of Sturla Holm climbing the hill was absolutely immaculate. Saying Stowe still in the upper body. These two aren't bad either. Phil Maé on the right. Seb Samuelsson of Sweden just tucking in behind him, trying to get every advantage. They'll be jumping from one bit of shade to the next, just trying to find snow that is slightly harder, slightly firmer. We're still too early. It's 3 o'clock local time. The temperature's not really going to start dropping for another hour or so, by which time the leaders will be through. It's only going to be just over the half-hour mark for the win today. And the way Sturla Holm Lygrid is going looks to me as though he's opening up his lead.
Martin Ponsaloma, one of the fastest yesterday. 58 seconds back, so claiming 3 seconds back on the leaders. I'd expect to see him do well today if he can get the targets down.
It's a big if. It's a very big if. In they come to the range, which is already in the shade. Now, when they were zeroing, there was certainly far more sunshine. It's sort of stopped at lane 29. Now you can see the shade creeping across the range area. Ziggy Mazet. Watch the time to the first shot. Anything under 13 seconds is exceptional. Well, that last one was a little low left, but 3 and 4 were excellent. So no mistake and no opportunity for the chasers quite yet. A game of patience. The men's pursuit, 12.5 kilometres, 4 shoots, the first 2 in the prone, and the second, the third and fourth in the stand position.
Samuelsson's magazines underneath the rifle, just making it even faster to get into the housing.
Well, it gave him, what, half a second, and pretty much shot for shot with Phil Maé, who won't have been fazed by having Samuelsson next door. Probably help, actually, Scott, to have those two skiing together. That will certainly enable them to share the lead, share the workload.
Dahl, first miss out of everybody so far coming into the shooting range. Fantastic shooting from the others, and many of them also going clear yesterday. Ponsaloma also with a miss.
Yeah, Christiansen's gone clear. Axel Fjeld Andersen of Norway, newcomer to the Norwegian team, showing his talent. And yeah, they've invested a lot, the Andersens, into coaching over the years. It has finally paid off. They're becoming more and more regular in the Norwegian team. Terje Bø. That's not a good start, missing the first shot, having started down in 13th, 1 minute 25 behind. That margin's going to grow to around 1 minute 50. Bjontegard goes 5. Uldal, his teammate, misses. And, well, the shooting standard not too bad.
Rapid shooting from Lygrid there, just so smooth, so controlled, but they weren't the most central shots in the world. Does he care? Almost certainly not.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if he gets some advice. He'll certainly find out where the shots went, and he may be a little bit concerned that 3 and 5 were dangerously low. It wasn't a split round, but they were low. Still looking very, very light. Lygrid well into his second lap now.
Emilian Jacquelin having risen from 30th down to 17th, gone clear in his first 5. And I think we can expect that trend to continue should he not get carried away in his stand shooting or over emotional perhaps.
Yeah, Phil Maé just hasn't managed to keep the form going that we've seen. I mean, Jacquelin hasn't managed to match Phil Maé in terms of form throughout the season. Good start from Eric Lesser. You know, every good race he has over the last 3 weeks is throwing into doubt whether he'll actually follow through with his retirement.
Well, second fastest ski time yesterday. I mean, it's just so quick. it's like that's a career best almost to be able to ski that fast. And I mean, of course, kudos to the Wax team as well. Naurath with also a fantastic ski time yesterday, but it's going to make it a tricky one for him to call it a day at the end of this.
Yeah, especially with the World Championships in Oberhof next year. That's going to be a fantastic occasion. 6th to 19th of February rings a bell, but I can't find the piece of paper that it's written on, so you better double check that. Just hope we get some decent weather and some decent snow and some interesting conditions. It's always interesting in Oberhof.
I think that's one of the exciting things about traveling all around the world. You have conditions such as these, where it's melted, it's hard, it's difficult. And then you've got Beijing, where it was sandy. I mean, how often do we get to say that it's sandy in a race? So the conditions are very variable, making it difficult for the wax technicians as well as the athletes.
Yeah, there's been a lot of orange snow around with the winds coming off the Sahara. And everyone out enjoying the snow, but it's hard to believe that it does the base of your skis much good.
Yesterday we saw Eric Lesser missing his final shot, and what I'm going to be interested in today is how his shooting, how he performs in the range, because I would put him down as being one of the most disciplined biathletes, being able to control the emotion, control the moment, and that was uncharacteristic of him yesterday. He was disappointed, and it was a shame to see.
Yeah, but he knew he was going well, so the pressure was there. I think that the question for me, Scott, and it's difficult to tell without a pulse reading for all of them, is how hard is Lesser working to stay with the world #1? And of course, Seb Samuelsson, who's super quick for the Swedish team. So I would just be a little concerned that Lesser was pushing the pace beyond comfortable. But we'll see how he gets on. If he is, the next two shoots are going to be very, very tough.
Yeah, we'll have to see. He was only 5 seconds faster than Fillon Maillet yesterday, and only 10 seconds faster than Samuelsson. So they're all very tight.
Lygrid, shoot 2. First 5 were safe enough, but he did drop too low. Now let's see. We should get a close-up of the target. Here we go. 2 central enough, both inside the 8. There's another low one. It was always on the cards after that first shoot. Last one he makes safe. He'll be furious with himself. He has given the chasers an opportunity, and with 3 of them starting just 22 seconds behind, Lygrid, he's been going well, so I think he should be able to complete that loop and come out with whoever hits 5 out of 5, and they all hit 5 last time round. Fillon Maillet, a rare miss from the world #1. Samuelsson is on 3 out of 3. Make that 4 out of 4. It's Eric Lesser who goes 5 out of 5. Was he pushing too hard? No, he wasn't. That was a very nicely controlled shoot from him. And it's Fillon Maillet who has to do a penalty loop and has to make the decision. Does he chase or does he wait for mistakes from the 3 in front of him?
Samuelsson going to be grateful for the fact that Eric Lesser's left in front of him, so he'll be able to tuck in behind and conserve some of that energy on this 3rd lap.
Christiansen, who won the mass start in Otterpur in good style, goes 5 out of 5 again. Kern trying to match Anderson. Nice shooting. It's easy. There's no real wind to worry about. The light, yes, it's fading a little, but none of the leaders are getting anywhere near lane 21, which is where the shade starts. Philip Fjeld Andersen, who is trailing his brother at the moment by some margin. It's going to be at least a gap of 40 seconds at the end of this shoot. Jacquelin in for his 2nd shoot, 30th in the sprint, so a lot of making up to do. A long time before the first shot going down.
Eder shooting exceptionally fast, clearing all 5 in no time at all. And interestingly, he is 88.9% hit rate and his average shooting 26.1 seconds. So one of the fastest shooters in the world. Only second, in fact, to Scott Gow.
Yeah, but probably more consistent. There's the miss from Lygrid.
Amazingly, Patrick, only actually 0.3% in it between Scott Gow and Eder, which is exceptional that Scott Gow is shooting 24 seconds on average and at 89.2% hit rate, which is quite exceptional.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and the Canadians have done well this year. Eder really the man who started the rapid shooting.
It's the constant arms race that the biathletes are having to contend with. Every time somebody makes an improvement, a second here, second there, everyone has to follow suit. Otherwise, they're giving away precious points, which are really being exacerbated today when you see there's so much to play for from second to fifth in the overall World Cup points.
Yeah, and I think Eder was heavily criticised when he started shooting low 20s. But he stuck with it, and it wasn't long before he was able to do it and hit consistently. You have to put yourself through that race situation. It's very well doing it in training, but you have to do it in the races time and time again before you get comfortable with it. So 14.9 between the two leaders. When they came out of the range, it was 11.2. So Lygrid is still absolutely flying on his skis and making the others chase hard. Phil Maillet, who did a penalty loop, as did Lygrid, now at 37, having started just 22 behind.
Fast skiing from Phil Maillet there, dancing up the hill. And look at the different frame between himself and Christensen. Much lighter, much smaller, and as a consequence, just skipping up that little hill there. I say little, it definitely doesn't feel little.
Yeah, Phil Maillet is a good hill climber. I'd love to see him do the Tour de Ski and see how he got on the Alpe Charamis, the last day of the Tour de Ski, up the downhill slope. I think he'd be right up there with the best. So Lygrid,
it's a tricky corner
under the road.
What it tends to be when sorry Patrick, when there's snow plowing or parallel turning into the corner, it reveals a little bit of ice under the snow. You got that contrast of slush and thick ice.
Yeah, and it's quite a fast corner. It feels much faster than it looks. Here we go. He goes on the right-hand side again. Interesting, he was just about the only one to ski on the right-hand side of the track last time up. I wonder what we'll see from those behind. That is where the shade was a little bit earlier. Lesser now leading Samuelsson. Last split, they had a decent margin of just about 20 seconds over Phil Maillet, who is the second man of that third group.
And Lygrid skiing very quickly. Lesser 11 seconds at the end of shoot number 2, now 19 seconds, so losing 8 seconds on that lap. Lygrid's in good form, or he's getting excited and pushing a bit hard.
Norath of Germany just going through wearing 6. Now, he shot clear for the first time this season yesterday, and he has hit 10 out of 10 so far today. So finally, he's found his shooting form. But no change in the lead. It's not quite as close as we saw in the women's race, but the two chasers now, Scott, are within one penalty loop of the leader.
Emilien Jacquelin also started in 30th, now in 12th position, having cleared his first 2 prones.
Lukas Hofer has gone from 38 to 24, so he's gained 14 places. Phil Maillet just needs to make sure of Jacquelin needs to make sure of his next shoot in the standing position. And at the moment, he's trailing by 1:40 to this man.
2 prone hits. 3.
Incredible.
Wow.
How many? 4 of those would have hit the prone target. That is an incredible standard of shooting from Lygrid, and that must be a little bit depressing for Samuelsson and Lesser, who saw those targets fall. Can they match? No, Samuelsson can't, but Lesser is still in there. Is he going back on the podium? He could well be. Absolutely brilliant performance from Eric Lesser.
He's had a wee glance up at the screen to see how far behind he is, and he'll have that information shortly. Norath also with a miss, and Christensen too.
I'll tell you what, Lesser is 12th in the World Cup standings as we see Phil Maillet clear another 5, so he is back in the running should Lygrid make a mistake on the first shoot. Lesser 12th in the World Cup standings at the moment. If he gets a top 3 today, he will certainly he'll go ahead of Johannes Tingesbø, and he'll catch Johannes Kern, which will put him into 10th, which is the best that he's ever done on the World Cup. He did it in 2015 and 2017. So finishing his career in style. Kern, 1, 2, 3, 4 going wide, and he has another look down the lane to see whether he was looking at the right targets. He was. 4 misses. Benny Doll, much better. 5 out of 5 from him, and he will be in the running for a top 5.
Samuelsson now hunting down Christiansen. He's had the privilege almost of being able to follow somebody on every single lap, thus saving a little bit of energy.
Yeah, and Christiansen with just 1 miss so far. Lesser is clear, the only one in the top 7 who has not missed so far. Asifjeld Andersen with 1 miss. There's Jacquelin, he goes 5 with 5
that is
again.
Fast shooting.
Yeah, that's very, very quick. He was 12th coming in, and Jacquelin from 30th is going into the top 10, but look at this shooting. Let's finish it with a prone as well. That would have hit, I think 4 of those would have hit the 8 ring. Incredible.
And Jacquelin managing to shoot all 5 targets down there in, would you believe it, 18.4 seconds.
Yeah, so Lygrid has a, he will, I assume, have a penalty loop advantage over Eric Lesser when he comes in, if he can just extend his lead by 4 seconds. Phil Maillet came out of the range at 38. He's been losing pretty much all the way through, but Phil Maillet does get quicker as the race goes on, so we'll keep a careful eye on that margin. Christiansen now at 102, Samuelsson at 105, Benny Doll, who shot clear on that last shoot, is at 116. But Scott, can anyone beat Lygrid?
Absolutely, it's all to play for. It's biathlon.
There's Eric Lesser, Olympic silver medalist in the individual back in Sochi, the controversial games. And then, of course, he took a World Championship gold in the pursuit, I think it was, in Kontiolahti in 2015. So he has reached the highest heights. And today, should Lygrid miss, he will have the best opportunity to come through and take a win. He's only had 2 wins in his career, so it would be incredible to get one on his penultimate day. Now at 42, so another 4 seconds lost by Phil Maillet, and he's in danger of being 2 shots behind the leader.
There we are, Samuelsson tucking in behind, and it's just giving him that little bit of extra energy. But it must be hard. I don't know. He doesn't strike me as being in particularly dynamic form today, and that could just be appearances. Maybe he's being conservative. But it could also be beneficial in that final lap, should he be in a sprint finish.
Yeah, he's lost another 3 seconds to Lygrid, but so has everyone else. Lesser, I can't remember what his split was. He came out of the range at 20, so we need to update ourselves on his position.
He lost 4 seconds as he came through the 8.4 kilometer mark, so he's definitely skiing slower than this man Lygrid, who is powering up this hill. Again, like you said, opting to be on the right-hand side of the track, where the shade has been on it, so it's a little bit faster.
Now we'll get another split from Lesser, 20.1 to 24 to 27.4. And he now has to outshoot Lygrid by 2 shots on the final shoot to get the win. I think that's fair to say, isn't it, Scott?
For sure, and I mean, it's going to be difficult for, I would say, Lesser to beat Lygrid, even in a sprint finish at this point. Even with Lesser's performance on the skis yesterday in the sprint, it's still going to be a tough one.
Till Eckhoff winning this morning in the women's pursuit. What a race that was, with the lead yo-yoing between Eckhoff and Roysland, and many top athletes just tucked in behind them. They were not given the opportunity. The crowd rise as Lygrid comes in. This is one of the best performances we've seen so far this year, and if he can finish it off with a 5 out of 5, then that will be the icing on the cake and victory assured.
He's been in a position similar to this before when contending for the overall World Cup against Johannes Tingas Bø last season, and he did crumble, something that nobody expected to happen. Let's see if he's learned from his mistakes.
Ooh. Well, Lesser has been given the chance that he will have been dreaming about, and he will look to his left and he'll see those 2 black targets. If he gets 5, the race is his. And he's got a little smile on his face. He knows what he's got to do. Just hitches up that race bib to get better traction between the elbow and the hip. The first 2 are down. There goes 3. Will it be 4? Yes, it will. This to win.
Yes.
Down it goes. Erik Lesser is going to win on his final weekend of Biathlon World Cup action, unless Phil Maillet can put in something sensational. He's on the hunt, and
My
Phil
goodness.
Maillet could be going into the top 2. He's certainly going to go second. Lygrid is still on his second penalty loop, so he's going to be just tucked in behind Phil Maillet. He might just squeeze in front. There you go. 13 seconds between 1 and 2. Lesser has not done it quite yet, and if Lygrid wants to win this one, he is going to have to turn on the afterburners, because Lesser will be running like a scared hare. He will be flying out of the stadium. Christiansen Samuelsson in a good duel. Oh, Christiansen misses one. That's rare in the stand, and Samuelsson will edge in front. Now, no Swede has ever finished ahead. In the last 29 years, no Swede has finished ahead of a Norwegian in the World Cup standings. And if Samuelsson finishes 2 in the World Cup, he will break that run. That's really what he said was motivating him, not the fact of finishing second, just finishing ahead of the best Norwegian. And he's given himself a very good chance. But Lesser has given himself the perfect chance of taking a win here. His last win was in 2016. You heard it right. 2016, when Erik Lesser won in Ruhpolding. It was a mass start. Here he is, leading the world's best and last year's number 2 by some 13 seconds. We will get another couple of split points on this final lap. 13.1 ahead of Phil Maillet, 14.2 ahead of Lygrid, who has decided to take the lead duties over from Phil Maillet. Are they closing?
And Patrick, if Samuelsson finishes 4th, where he currently is right now, he gets 43 points. And if Lygrid finishes 2nd, gets 54 points, that's 11-point difference. And right now, Lygrid is 10 points behind on the overall World Cup standing. So Sebastian Samuelsson is relying on Phil Maillet beating Lygrid. Otherwise, Samuelsson loses his 2nd place on the overall World Cup standing.
This weekend's best up against the season's best, but they're chasing a man who, since he announced his retirement, and apologies for keeping going on about it, but the second he announced his retirement, he has relaxed and he has found some sensational form. It's going to be a hugely popular win should Erik Lesser manage to do this. 13 seconds at the last shoot with just 2.5k to go. They're not really closing. It's still at 13.1. They have not closed by even 0.1 of a second. So the battle is for second, and really that is all about the fight for second place in the overall. I think Phil Maillet, Scott, who took the first lap pretty steady and hasn't really been pushing the pace anywhere near as hard as Lygrid. I think the Frenchman may be the man who can get runners-up slot.
I would say that for Lygrid, he's had 2 penalty loops as well, so his outside leg, his left leg is going to be particularly battered having done that, so it's going to be difficult for him to retain the form after 300 meters of exertion.
Yeah, a bit of good news that I failed to bring you is that Jacquelin has missed on his last shoot. That's not the good news. The good news is that Lukas Hofer has shot 20 out of 20 and he's gone from 38 to 12 and is the best climber of the day so far. Well, it wasn't meant to be greeted with that sort of silence. Lygrid, he'll be wondering what he has to do to shake off Fiolmaillet. He might have to start playing it tactically and just accept that he's not going to win. This is going to be your winner today. We've seen Kern win for Germany this season. They really have missed Arndt Pfeiffer, who used to spring victories out of nowhere. Pfeiffer winning here on a number of occasions. But today, it's all about Eric Lesser. At the age of 33, the Oberhofer is going to take the top prize here in Oslo.
And it looks like Fiolmaillet is managing to open up a gap from Lygrid there. It looks like that early tactics of just taking it slow has benefited him, as well as not having to go round the penalty loop 2 times as Lygrid did.
Yeah, a reliable combination. First lap easy, cruise the flats, blast the uphills. That is what Fiolmaillet is so good at. So Lesser, this may well be one of the highlights of his career. I think it will be one of the highlights of his career. He's only had 2 wins in 15 seasons. 15 seasons, but today he is going to take top spot out of nowhere. Absolutely sensational. And it will put him into I think it's going to put him into the top 10 of the overall World Cup standings. That's not really what he's concerned about. It's the fact that he's going to get the win. Fiolmaillet is coming fast. That's been an amazing burst from Fiolmaillet since the bottom of the hill. But this is a longer climb than it looks. And Lesser only needs 2 or 3 seconds. He's got about 6 or 7 to play with at the moment. Fiolmaillet really just fighting off any recovery from Lygrid, who's given up on finishing in the top 2, and that means that he's going to have to beat Samuelsson tomorrow if he wants to finish number 2 in the world, which is what he did last year. But let's celebrate Eric Lesser, 33 years of age, and the Norwegian crowd rise to his arrival. He's hardly got the energy to smile, but at last he punches the air. This is just what he would have wanted. Contiolati, we saw him second in the pursuit. Today he goes one better. Having started 5th, he finishes 1st, hitting 20 out of 20. The perfect performance and the perfect end to a career for Eric Lesser. Fiolmaillet, hard to keep him off the podium, but he's there again, 2nd place, and out skiing Lygrid, the form man, on that last loop. Wow.
Going to be such a disappointment for Lygrid, knowing that he had it within his grasp and just wasn't able to hold it together. But Eric Lesser, a proud moment for him.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. It's been a very, very colourful career. He's been there, hasn't really ever been the main player in the German team. A steady Eddie, regular in the relays, reliable in the relays. Samuelsson happy enough with 4th. He started number 3, but he's picked up another bundle of points. But he's got to do it all over again tomorrow. The race, the fight for that 2nd place is not over quite yet.
Eric Lesser also giving his platform to one of the Ukrainian biathletes to show what was happening on the ground in Ukraine on Facebook. And I think that was quite an emotional moment as well for a lot of people to see that expression of solidarity with the Ukrainian biathlon team.
Yeah, the IBU have certainly got behind Ukraine, and they listened to the athletes when they made the decisions about the Russians and the Belarus athletes racing, and they will continue to be very, very vocal on that point. They've got a fundraising page on the website as well. certainly worth getting behind that.
Impressive from Strolia there, 1 minute 50 seconds behind, and he'll certainly be pleased with that as one of the fastest biathletes now these days, which is fantastic to see one of the smaller nations with that kind of a credit to their name.
Yeah, he got a 6th place in Ottopa last week, so to back that up with a top 10 here, great work for Strolia. But there are your top 3 from the day. It all changed at the final shoot, as it so often does. It was Lesser who had a little smile on his face. He knew exactly what he had to do and used his experience well to clear the last 5 targets and give himself a 13-second lead. So Lesser gets the win here in Oslo, the 3rd of his career in 15 years. Jacquelin down in 19. Luki Hoffer, brilliant run from him, Scott.
Also, impressive performance from Claude, the youngest brother, and managing to go from 22nd to 21st, something that he's proud of as he cheered his way across the line. And quite right, he's just come up from the IBU Cup, where he's had a lot of success. So I expect to see him on the World Cup in years to come.
And just as we had this morning, it was the top 8 who dominated, the top 8 from the sprint who dominated the top 5. Could there be an argument that you should halve the deficit from the sprint? I know it would mean you'd have a very compact range if it was a close sprint. But today, 1, 2, 3 and 5 have finished in the top 4 in the pursuit, and therefore just showing the advantage of getting a good sprint.
Yeah, perhaps they should have the deficit of the top 10 and then leave everybody else where they were. That would perhaps be considered unfair, but interesting that in biathlon you actually get a medal for the sprint, or a reward for the sprint and the pursuit, whereas in a sport like figure skating, for example, you do the short program and then the long program the day after. They influence each other in terms of points, but you're not awarded for the short program as you are in biathlon in the sprint.
Yeah, that used to be the case in cross-country, where the pursuit was 2 different disciplines. Here's your winner.
Podium. What's the emotion like?
Right now I don't have any emotions, only lactate and pain. But somehow I'm really happy. I was 5th yesterday, like in 2015. And today, clean shooting, be the first, getting over the finish line. I compete with the best, I compete against the best. And I beat them today. It's at the end of my career. That's a very emotional thing.
Are you sure you want to quit now?
Yes, for sure. There's no change in my decision.
How amazing is it to have this public for the last dance?
I didn't expect that. I just expected to have fun and to be with the team together and maybe have some results after in the top 15. But that I have this shape now, it's incredible. I just try to get everything's in my mind and just memorize it in my head. These 3 weeks are now really crazy, and I just try to how can I say? Just try to have fun with these things.
Congratulations, enjoy it.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice to hear from Eric Lesser. That reference to 2015 when he said he was 5th. He was 5th in the sprint in the World Championships in Kontiolahti, and then came through to win gold in the pursuit, just as he's done here today in Oslo. But a very unlikely result. I think 3 weeks ago, a month ago, you would never have put money on Eric Lesser to win this race, the last pursuit of the season. But there have been little signs over the last 3 weeks that he's on a monumental rise in form. And it's great to see, and I think even Ligrid will be happy for him.
I think that's, they say the biathlon family, and it really is a family in the sense that you get so much good spirit between the competitors, and that is celebrating with each other with their success, rather than, you know, feeling necessarily down and glum about the fact that you've been deposed of your position.
Well, it wasn't a good day for everyone. Just looking at those who shot clear, Eric Lesser, Lukas Hoffer, Chris Marsh of the Czech Republic. He shot 20 out of 20 and went from 33 to 18. So only 3 managing to hit all the targets. We've had a few who couldn't hit any. Giegner was one of them. 9 misses today. Very up and down performer. Leitinen of Finland missed 7. Skoma of USA missing 5. And Vindish and Karlik also missing 7 apiece. So it hasn't been the happiest of races. But Giegner with 9 misses. Lucky not to be lapped, to be honest. Well, ski jumping coming up next here on Eurosport. David Goldstrom with the ski jumping event from Oberstdorf. That should be an absolute cracker, and hope you can stay tuned for that, and also hope that you can join us tomorrow for the mass starts, the final day of the biathlon season.
Wie geil war das bitte?
Danke sehr.
Und zu sagen, ich gehe jetzt einfach locker ins Rennen, das funktioniert halt nicht.
Wie hast du das gemacht? Geil, Glückwunsch, Junge. Genieße es. Danke. Ich habe ein Bett mit Honig jetzt. Junge! Kein Kopfschütteln, gell?
Congratulations. Thank you very much. What's your last race? Tomorrow is my last race. Yeah. My last weekend here in the nice Oslo, Holmenkollen, with nice weather. And it's a pleasure to be here. I always saw you in this loge, cheering for the best, and today I am the best. I'm very thankful. Hope you're fine. You enjoyed the race? Have a good race. Perfect. Thank you. Oh, yeah. And you will enjoy the tracks as well? Yeah. You still on the skis? No. Yes. How was the track? Better than expected. It's soft and slow, but it's much better than expected. And we can be happy that in the night it's minus degrees, -1 about, and that helps really a lot. The hardest home is quite okay. And I mean the crowd when it's back after 2 years of COVID, it's very nice to have spectators in the stadium and on the tracks. And we are back in business. That's nice. I'm still out of breath. You know, I'm the guy for the top 15 results, and when the best in this season is chasing me, I have to give everything I have. And everybody from our team at the tracks cheered only for me. Come on, you must push. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. So maybe see you again tonight. Yeah, I hope. I will give everything for my last race. Thanks. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Enjoy your crowd. and your stadium. Or?
Congrats.
Thanks for the question. So, can we take a picture? Can you do a order of this? Eller han kunne ikke touche det.
Mine damer og herrer, vi vil nå få seiersseremoni for BMW verdenscup jaktstart for menn. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have the ceremony for the BMW World Cup Pursuit for men. The medals and flowers from Floris are handed over by Ole Dahlin, the president of the IBU. The prizes are handed over by Annette Trettebergstuen, Minister of Culture and Equality. Tredje plass, third place, representing Norway, Norge, Sturla Holm Lagreid. Andre plass, second place, representing France, Quanta Fio Maye. Første plass og vinner. First place and the winner. Representing Germany, Deutschland, Erik Lesser. Vi vil nå fortsette med blomsterseremoni. We will now continue the flower ceremony. Fjerde plass, fourth place, representing Sweden, Sebastian Samuelsson. Fifth place, femte plass, representing Norway, Norge, Vetle Sjåstad Christiansen. Sjette plass, sixth place, representing Sweden, Sverige, Martin Ponsiloma. Vi tar en skikkelig applaus, a great round of applause of the winner, Erik Lesser, Quanta Fio Maye, Sturla Holm Lagreid, Sebastian Samuelsson, Vetle Sjåstad Christiansen, Martin
are ready.
Vi skal nå ha premieseremoni for herrenes BMW Jaktstart Cup sammenlagt. We will now have the ceremony for the men's BMW World Cup Total Pursuit Score. Nummer 1 og sammenlagt vinner. Number 1 and winner, representing France, Quanta Fio Maye. Vi skal nå ha premieseremoni for herrenes stafettcup sammenlagt og mixed stafett sammenlagt. We will now have the ceremony for the men's BMW World Cup Total Relay Score and the BMW World Cup Total Mixed Relay Score. Nummer 1 og vinner. Number 1 and winner, Norway! The trophies is handed over by Mr. Ole Dahlin, the president of the IBU.
Jo, takk. Det er